Yo, what's good, folks? Welcome to the channel. For my first video, I was trying to think. I'll talk about this past weekend. We had the UFC, we had the Royal Rumble, we had Brand Risk Boxing, we had Benavidez. On Sunday, we had Clarissa Shields. And then I'm trying to decipher. We'll just go over all of it. But then this afternoon, breaking news happens. KSI versus Dillon Danis again. My first reaction to that is just like, okay. We've seen it before. Dillon pulled out the first time, and then he had his boxing match with Logan where it was just embarrassing. We can just call it what it is. Entertaining leading up, but embarrassing, for the actual product. And so I don't know if I'm interested in it, considering KSI's last potential opponent, Wayne Bridge, pulled out due to comments KSI made. And then you're bringing in the ultimate troll with Dillon Danis. I mean, I don't know what he could really say to KSI to really generate what he generated when he was going after Logan's wife. Yeah, it'll be interesting, but to be honest, this one shocked me. I think with JJ, they're trying to, him and his team, they keep talking about a new style. And so they're trying to go after somebody with a name, like they said, and it sounds like they're super, super low risk. And Wayne Bridge was obviously going to be like super low risk, right? Whoops. Dillon, here's the thing. Here's the catch, I think, with Dillon right now, opposed to previous when they first was supposed to get into it, and when he fought Logan, he signed with the GFL, and so does that mean he's been training? Does that mean like he's actually taking it seriously? Like maybe his knee is finally feeling better, right? And so he didn't give us anything to go off of in the Logan fight. I hope it's entertaining. I hope Dillon actually comes to fight. I hope he just shows up, because I am interested to see what KSI is doing different. I'm assuming it's going to be more of an orthodox style opposed to, that shoe fighters kind of kickboxing style. I hope, and if it's more orthodox, then I think that is kind of proof he's going after Jake. He has to. He wasn't going to be. I don't think he'd be able to beat Jake with just his shoe fighter style. But man, if he adds a more kind of traditional approach mixed with, the shoe fighter, the how it was, that could be actually very dangerous, man. Because that means KSI will have more tools in the toolbox, but they'll be different. Still something different than Jake has ever fought, if it gets to that point, and if KSI can really master those new, potential orthodox skills. I'm just guessing, right? But for Dillon, I don't know. So I believe it was rumored, I'm pretty sure I saw it somewhere, that he was supposed to fight Tony Ferguson in the first round of the upcoming GFL League, which I think is supposed to happen late April, from what Gary, I think his name, I don't know, the co-founder said on Ariel Helwani's show. And so that fight, actually, I think that interests me more. Dillon Danis versus old, beat-up Tony Ferguson. Like, it's almost giving Dillon the platform to see what he can actually do. Because we got to give him credit. He was a jiu-jitsu champion, strictly jiu-jitsu. And I think he gets a bad rep just because he's been so inactive. And I mean, his Logan performance didn't help, but I'm still interested. And him versus Tony in an MMA match, that would generate numbers. And like, I want to see that. I don't want to see him versus KSI. But I mean, if their whole thing right now is to get a guy, right, with a name that can build a fight that is little to no risk, no matter what style KSI comes out in, then Dillon fits the bill, I wish this wasn't the second time around. I wish this was the first time that they, had this sort of promotion. But man, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. I don't know what this means for the GFL. I know that they were saying they did have to work in some different verbiage for Dylan's contract, to make sure he could still be Dylan. And it sounds like also fight elsewhere. So if he comes back to Misfits, and if he actually does put on a performance and boxes KSI, man, he's going to propel himself. Who knows? He might be the face of the GFL, especially like if he puts on a let's say here in a hypothetical world, if he puts on a good performance against KSI, right, and actually boxes him, and then he goes to the GFL and smokes Tony Ferguson, any of the older guys that they got, which I mean is almost all of them. And look, there's a bunch of guys on there that I don't know that don't have super big names. I'm sure a lot of them are really good. I hope they're all getting paid. I'm interested to see what the league can do, and I guess for this fight coming up, I don't know. We'll see what the lead up is. And if Dylan can do anything, a little bit more, like if he throws, right? Like he was keeping that guard up the entire fight with Logan, right? He was doing almost like a backwards flick jab. Like, no, I don't want to see that. I'll see the guard up. He can keep the guard up. He with his persona and ego, he can't get knocked out. He can't. But against JJ, I think it's possible. For sure. But yeah, I'd still rather see him versus Tony, or really Dylan versus anybody in the GFL. Like we've seen him twice in Bellator, in the mixed martial arts world, and that was, I mean, I don't. It was a long time ago, multiple years, right? And we haven't heard Conor talk much about him. Conor had very minimal comments when he was fighting Logan. Didn't show up for his friend either, so who knows how close they are. But let's see. This was interesting. This is good breaking news. Good content for my first video. Thank you, KSI. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you think Tony versus Dylan's more appealing, or if you like Dylan versus KSI more. And if you think Dylan can do anything. If you go the boxing route, how competitive do you think it's going to be? And in the GFL, you think he could be the name, Dylan? I don't know. It's interesting. Let me know what you guys think. Consider subscribing. I'm going to have more videos coming out. I'm still kind of getting the hang of this thing. You guys know how it is. And leave a comment. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuce.